Okay, why am I showing this? During my internship, I never decided as to what specialty I'll be going into. No? I don't know whether it goes to pedia. I wanted to go to cardiology. I even wanted to go to OB. No? I even applied to Hospital ng Manila for OB. But then, after being exposed to these guys, then definitely that completely turned around my decision as to be a surgeon. So these guys are the pillars of surgery during those times. I'm proud to mention them kasi parang wala to eh. This would be the third generation already for you, no? You never met these guys anymore, I'm sure. Ang mga the likes of Arturo Flores, at the one that you get to see, but these guys are way before Arturo Flores. One of the most illustrious surgeons during this time was Dr. George Itonio. Well, if you will see him, his aura is really, that of a surgeon. Nakaputi yan na mabuti, mabango, and then he makes rounds, and his demeanor was really that proper for a surgeon. And then his surgical techniques were impeccable. He's very meticulous. I remember he's a breast enthusiast. Okay? So he's one of the breast enthusiasts that he even postulated that during that time, that the breast problem is a systemic disease. No, it's not a local disease. So that's what I remember from him. Okay. Next slide. Unfortunately, Dr. Dubarry passed away several years ago. Okay, this is my ninong. This is Dr. Porfirio Recio. I don't know if everybody knows about him. He's a guy, one of the first Filipinos who trained in Temple University. And if you would check literature, his name is even incorporated in one of the textbooks in colorectal surgery. This guy, the demeanor of this guy is also different. Pagka nag-opera yan, he really cuts and cuts and cuts. And then, pag sinabi mo sa kanya, Sir, nagdudugo po kayo, nagdudugo po tayo. Eh, iho, anong ginagawa mo? Eh, di klampin mo. So, yun yung mga style niya. And then, he's also responsible for the development of colorectal surgery in the Philippines. Okay? The next slide. This is also another favorite guy of mine. He's a very understanding, very accommodating guy, Tony Lipson. This is the guy where I bought my first motorcycle, which I did not ride for 3 months, which I kept at Manila Doctors, because I know very well that my wife would be lambasting me. So he's a rider, he's a doctor, he's a surgeon, and the thing there is that he's the one of the what do you call this, very articulate, very meticulous surgeons that you can ever see. So the surgical techniques is again impeccable. Okay. Next slide. Okay, this is Dr. Apolinario. I don't know if anybody among you remember Dr. Apolinario. He's at first he's a general surgeon. He's a general surgeon who went to orthopedic. That's why when he operates, then you can see his dexterity. He's not the usual orthopedic surgeon who is quite, brusco and blunt. He's soft. The techniques that he uses is softiness. Magaling na orthopedic surgeon. Unfortunately, again, he left us in times where it's not yet due. Okay, so probably everybody will recognize this Dr. Mario De Villa. Dr. Mario De Villa is a very well-known academician. He's an anatomist, and part of being his anatomy is incorporating his anatomical knowledge into surgery. No? So he's one of the anatomists who would dissect very well, very meticulous, and a very fast surgeon. No? So most of the time, a lot of our young surgeons here would emulate and take the techniques that Dr. De Villa would impart to them. And I'm sure a lot of your young guys will be operating similarly just like Dr. De Villa. Okay? So Dr. De Villa is still around, although quite retired, but he's still with us. Okay? Mali itong picture ni Patrick na ito. This is supposed to be Dr. Manuel Rojas. Dr. Manuel Tayaw, I mean. Dr. Manuel Tayaw is one of the vascular surgeons who first did open heart surgery in Manila long time ago. Even in the early 80s, nag-open heart na kami na. So, he's one of the more talented cardiac surgeons who started cardiac surgery at Manila Med. Unfortunately, he has to migrate and went to one of the VA hospitals in the States. Okay? So yun ang mga natin dito, yung mga boss natin. Next slide. Okay, so I think everybody knows this guy. This is Ninong. This is Dr. Manuel Foja. This is Dr. Fojas. No? Dr. Fojas is, if ever there's somebody who I would consider the father of minimally invasive surgery, it would be Dr. Fojas. His techniques, his way of operating, his hemostasis, his everything boils down to what we now call minimally invasive surgery. So what's minimally invasive surgery? Superior cosmetic result, good outcome, lesser pain, and patient satisfaction. I think this guy was able to fulfill all those needs way before all those instruments of modern surgery or modern laparoscopic surgery came in. So this is the guy also who I remember narinig na ba niya yung mag-opera ng dalawang bayang magiliw. When you start at bayang magiliw at 12 midnight and then you finish another bayang magiliw at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's how meticulous he was. So it's a really long time. But then outcome-wise, his outcome is really fantastic. He seldom infection is part of it, but I cannot remember any surgery that entailed too much infection that he had to reopen again. Of course, they have all these complications. The complications are all inevitable. They all should come in. No? Hindi naman pwede maiwasan yun. So again, there is one guy whom you would claim to be the father of minimally invasive surgery way before all these instruments came in. Then it will be Dr. Fojas. I'm just sorry that Dr. Fojas cannot join us today, but I hope if there is a Zoom session for this, I'm sure he would be proud and in these later days that we are honoring him for his achievements. Okay. So next slide. Oh, who is this? Anybody knows this? This is Baltic. This is Dr. Edgar Baltazar. I mentioned this because he was my chief. He was my chief president in PGH before. And during that time, PA, the vice chief or the younger surgeons would learn almost all the techniques from the chief. No? So the techniques are handed down to the chief, down to the vice chief, down to the juniors. So I think this guy is one of the best surgeons so far in terms of results, outcome, speed for that matter. He's one of the fastest surgeons I ever seen. So I'd like also to thank Edgar Baltzar for guiding us, being what we are now. Okay, I try to put a descriptive or illustrative drawing of what minimally invasive surgery was before. Remember, when we started minimally invasive surgery way back in the early 90s, it was a gray zone. You know? There is no cut-off. There is no cut-off as to what MIS would encompass. No? Basta mapasok mo yung iyong scope in a cavity, then probably that will be considered minimally invasive surgery anymore. No? Let's start from the thyroid. Okay. If you want